All right, guys. Hey, we're so excited to be able to have our new agent, Blake Berger, who's been with us for 90 days. Blake did just shy of $40,000 in premium last month, coming with no sales experience, no, life insurance experience. Blake, welcome to the call, man.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I feel blessed.
Dude, it's pretty funny because I just remember this like it was like 3, 4 months ago when we were having lunch at what is it, Texas Roadhouse. Um,
Original Roadhouse. Yeah.
Original Roadhouse, right? And we were talking about, Blake getting started and all that stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, I don't think I'm scared of rejection, and I'm ready to do this." And man, from then till now, like that's been a fun journey to be able to watch. You know what I mean? So, for those that don't know your story, don't know who you are, Blake, who are you? How did you find Family First Life? All that good stuff, man. If you want to share that.
I got into FFL through a mutual friend. He had been in the business for years, and he kind of just got in touch with me one day, and he's like, "Hey, like, you guys always ask what I do. I always tell you I just sell insurance, sell life insurance." And so he told me to get licensed, kind of sent me through the process, kicked me down the funnel. Slowly but surely, I was able to get that done. From there, got contracted with another agency that we didn't end up actually writing any business with. So that was kind of fun. I had to come over here and get recontracted. But no, just I've been down a long road to find my way here. I've done a lot of things between here and there. I used to work with special needs children and adults in a school setting. Um, I used to do plumbing and septic work. I've worked at Target. I've worked in restaurants. I've worked on a sport fishing boat for 3 years. I've found my way here and wasn't really a sales guy. Didn't think I was a salesman. I always knew I was kind of a people's person. I can make friends pretty much anywhere I go. But yeah, got into the business, started getting kicked down, beat up, and found my way here.
Dude, it's funny because you basically named everything except for sales, right?
Yeah, no.
That's the best part about our industry is and truly mean this. Like, if you come from sales, like I'm like awesome because you'll understand how simple this is compared to what you currently do. But like for people that go, I don't have a sales background, and they feel like it's a disadvantage, and it actually isn't, because it's so much easier to be able to train folks that don't have a background in sales or came from life insurance because then you actually learn it our way. You know what I mean? So I love it. So you get started. What does your situation look like 90 to 100 days ago? Like, what's
Um,
home life look like? What's bank account look like? Like, what's that all look like?
bank account was rough. Bank account was rough. I had like a couple of grand to my name. I had like 1,200 bucks in my account, and my credit card was paid off, so I was ready to roll. Um, I had just had a kid. My daughter, she just turned 6 months old on the 10th. It was my first baby. I had just 2 weeks before I started dialing, I just got engaged to my fiance, and stressed. Stressed would be the word. Still live at home with my family. Fortunate for that. We have a decent sized house, so I'm not stressing on a mortgage right now. That's definitely a blessing. But I want to get our own place. That's really where I was at when I talked with you initially. That you said, "What's your why?" I said, "I want to get a nice house." And I was in a tough spot. I wasn't really working. I was kind of doing some part time work here or there with my friend, doing a little bit of trucking, low voltage telecom work, security cameras, data cabling, and then doing some truck driving with one of my friends. When I found out my lady was pregnant, I went and got my Class A 2 weeks later because I said, you know what, worst comes to worst, can always drive a truck. At least I'll have something. I've always
Right.
tried to been a provider, so that was my goal. It's like, well, I got to get something going, and I got
Right.
to get it going quick.
Well, here's why I asked, Blake, because the amount of people that get started here, like, we recruit like James and I and Aaron and a bunch of guys like on this call, like we recruit a lot on a daily basis. And the amount of people that go, like, Blake, you don't get it, man. I'm in a tough spot. No, I actually really understand it because everyone I talk to is in a rough spot. That's the times in America. Like there's no other way to say that, right? So in actuality, we're very comfortable working with people that are in a quote unquote tough spot because everybody is. Like nobody really comes in here and goes, you know what? Money's great. I'm just bored. Want to try something harder in my life. You know what I mean? Like most people are like, yo, we're making, it's tough to make ends meet. Like there's too much, month to the money. Like we can't like, right? Like that's normal for most of the people that join our business. They're like, I don't know what leads are going to look like because we don't really have much left. Like everybody's in that situation. So to go from that to where you are, right? You're writing 35, 40 grand a month now. What really happened?
Um, my first 2 weeks were rough.
By the
I
way, everyone's first 2 weeks are
Yeah,
rough.
my first 2 weeks were rough. I thought I was working, I thought my dials were there. I thought my lead spend was there. I thought my hours were there. And then I started tracking numbers once I was about a month in. And I realized I was like, wow, I only really dial like 4 hours a day. I make like 150 or 200 dials. I have like one or two presentations a day, and they're horrible. This is bad. This is really bad. From there, like my first month, I really went hard. It was like the beginning of April, like first or second week of April. I was like, okay, like I got to make this work. Like I've literally spent all my money on leads, and I barely made any money. Like I didn't make, I made my money back. I remember the first policy I wrote was on Ethos, and I was stoked. So it's like I'm gonna get paid $1,400, and I get a deposit for 680, and I was like, what? What happened? And I was still on 6 month advance with Ethos. And I was like, dude, I've spent a grand on leads and I just got $700. How am I going to keep this working? So I spent that money, swiped the card again, threw down on leads, kept dialing, kept dialing, kept dialing. I'd plug in with Hanan, James, Joseph. Blessing, dude. Forever fortunate for these guys. They'd tell me, dude, you suck. Go home, quit, leave. Like they were tough.
But
They
that's
were
the
tough.
you know what it's funny because like I see Hanan laughing about it in the corner. But like here's what I vividly remember, right? Like, and by the way, like there's complaining and then there's actually like struggling.
Doing.
Right. Like, but like so you text me this paragraph. Like I'm on Zoom with Hanan, we're talking about something, and you text me this paragraph. And I just started laughing with Hanan. I'm like, oh, he's hurting. And I was like, he's in the office, right? So I was like, go to Hanan's office and you walk in. And then we were talking about your numbers. And you were like, dude, I worked so hard yesterday. Like, I worked an entire day and I made like 200 calls. And like, we stopped you right there and we just started laughing. We weren't laughing at you, but we were just like, we need to set real expectations. And so at that point, we were like, all right, well, Joseph writes 30 grand a month. Joseph's sitting right next to you guys in the office. Hey, Joseph, how many calls did you make so far for the day? And he was like, between the dialer and I,
550.
900. So 500 for me. And Hanan was like, yeah, I made about 400 as well for the day. Right. And you're like, oh. And that was when we were like, yeah, dude, like, we're not saying you're not here. We're not saying you're not dialing. You're just not dialing as fast as the other guys are dialing, which is why they have more prezos. So you're making 200 calls to get two presentations. They were making 400 or 500 calls to have 4 or 5 presentations. The math makes sense. And so what happened was once you understood that, you picked it up. And then we stopped measuring your dials because after you start making $300-400 consistently, we just look at contact rates. Right. And then there would be times where you would text me and be like, I didn't even make 200 calls today, but I had like 9 presentations. Or like, you get it now. Right. Because the number one thing that everybody struggles with as a brand new agent, Blake, is making calls. So that's
Yeah,
the reason why we
that
tracked the
was
$300 in the beginning. But what happens is once you're a stud, like you, Aaron, Hanan, and some of these other guys, we don't care about the 300 calls anymore. We care about contact rate and prezos. Because if you make 400 calls and only 7 people answer the phone, your phone number is probably screaming to the client, don't answer this call because I'm going to scam you. Right. So, like,
that
we
was
have to
my
go ahead.
that was my problem. That was my problem in the beginning too. This is what I used to dial. I'd look at a spreadsheet and I'd look on my laptop and I'd go click, 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 and I'd call it. And I wouldn't answer. And then I'd go, oh, recents, click it again. And everyone would see this phone number from Victorville and they're like, dude, why is some guy in Victorville calling me? Like, I'm
Right.
not answering this. This is weird. And I finally got to the point, Joseph told me, he's like, you don't have Ringy? And I was like, well, what's Ringy? What's that? And he's like, you put all your leads on it and you just click to call. And I was like, oh, how much is it? He's like, oh, I spend $180 a month. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's like how much I spend on my car insurance, dude. You spend $180 a month just to call, like to dial? He's like, yeah. It's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna trust you, dude. I'll get Ringy. And that really that just that one move made a huge difference because now I was able to set appointments. I was able to write notes on each lead. It really helped me get organized. And then I got into some secret sauce with Ringy for contact rates.
Well, what happened was on the same time, you're on the same 6 hour, 8 hour dial day, you're making 2 to 3 times more calls because you don't have to manually press the phone number. That's the beauty of any power dialer that we have. I don't care if you use Ringy, phone burner, Wave. It's the same. Like the fact that you don't have to call and you just got to sit there and wait for dial tone will help out a lot, right? But you said something because I want our new agents to understand this. Like you spent money to get your insurance license, and then you spent money
Yeah.
to buy leads. So like when a top producer goes, "Hey, dude, the phone system costs $200," and you go, oh, "I get it because we're all strapped for cash in the beginning." But if the goal is to have people pick up the phone so we can sell them insurance, like why wouldn't I spend the money? Because some dude in Indiana is not going to answer a 760 number, Blake. Just like if
No,
someone from Indiana called me, I'd be like, who the hell in Indiana is calling me? Send a voicemail. Like our clients think the same that we do. So if we don't have a phone system, whatever it is, to look like we are local, even though we're not, we're already behind. You know what I mean? So if you're
way
gonna
behind.
spend 500, $1,000 a week on leads, like why wouldn't you spend $200 to look like you're there so they actually pick up when you call? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, if you're spending that type of money on leads, I mean, you want to make the best possible outcome out of it. And that's one of the things I started doing when I started dialing in Ringy. I realized, oh, you can purchase area codes. Oh, you can? Oh, this is cool.
Right.
Hey, I'm calling someone in Sacramento. I'm calling them off a 916 or a
Correct.
415. They might think it's the tire shop, the doctor, the pharmacy, their friend, someone, I don't know, the solar guy, whoever it is, but they're like, "Oh, it's someone from Sacramento. Well, let me see what this is."
Right.
I just need to get people on the phone.
Right.
And that's been a huge thing for me. I have literally every area code in the state of California. I have 12 or 13 area codes in Pennsylvania. I have 5 or 6 area codes in Utah. I have every area code. If I see a new one, I just purchase it. It's $1 a month to have them.
Right.
Might as well do it.
Now, when you call Blake out of your phone system with Ringy, they just basically match the new area code to that lead, right? It's
Yeah, if
like
I
you
have
don't
that
have to
area
actually do
code,
it. Mm-hmm.
I have that area code. I just click to call and it'll match their area code. If it's a 714 down in Anaheim, it's a 714. If
Right.
it's a 435 in southern Utah, I'm calling off a 435. As soon as I click it, it just matches my area code
Right.
to whatever they're calling. And that makes a huge difference. My pickup rate is really good, even on old aged leads. I worked, it was one day, it was my best day. I had my best day and my best day within a week. Father's Day weekend. I bought some leads on Friday because I had had a really good Tuesday or Wednesday. I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy a batch of aged vet leads. I bought $350. I bought 50 leads. I wrote 13.5 that day in premium off of $350 in vet leads. So I deposited about a week later, it was $9,600 off a $350 batch of leads. But why? it was Father's Day weekend. I worked from noon to 7 the day before Father's Day on Saturday. I worked 7 hours
Right.
and I deposited $9,600 in that 7 hours.
It's like $1,100 an hour.
It was 13.
Yeah. But here's the
It
crazy
was
part,
life
Blake.
changing.
So I'm glad you mentioned that because this is something for new agents that they don't understand. They go, like new agents go, "Can I call on the weekends?" I'm like, "Dude, it's the best time to call. Can I call
Yeah.
on Sundays?" Yeah, you should. You know why? Because in our boot camp, we talk about it. Telemarketers don't do that. They don't call during holidays. They don't call in the evenings. They don't call on Sundays. So guess what? When a client gets that call on a Sunday or an evening or a holiday, they don't think telemarketer. They go, "Who's calling me on this day?" And they pick up. Now, if you call me during Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 during normal business hours, you look like everybody else. That's the difference, right? And so, like, we would always say that for a reason. Like, we would be like, dude, we'd make up ground on the weekends or on holidays because we knew nobody else would call. Our competitors don't call. Matter of fact, the own agents that we work with here don't call. So if I wanted to get ahead, I'm going to call, right? So I love that, dude. So all right, so you start off buying aged leads to start, right? Aged vet leads. Start calling those. Start making some sales. When did you start blending in some new final expense leads, running your own? Like when did that? What was that transition look like for you?
That was like towards the end of April. It was towards the end of my first month. I bought my first set of like CRM new final expense leads
Hmm.
and I slaughtered them. I slaughtered them. I did not do well. I did not do well on my first set of new leads. I was so used weren't vets and didn't have a ton of well the VA a bunch of objections and I was like, well, this is different. Like what do I do with this? Or I finally started finding people that weren't like old with a ton of health conditions and I'm like, what do I do? Like how do I write an IUL? Like what do I do with this? What do I do with this guy's 45 and wants life insurance? What do I do? How do I do this? So I botched the first set and bought some more vet leads, made some more money, and did it again. I ran some like Ethos abandoned cart leads, and I had some really good luck with those. They were on sale. I got them for like $6 a lead,
Yep.
and I kind of studied the scripts for it. And man, it was tough. Like the first moment, I'd say Ethos, click, click, click. So I kind of started trying to do my hey, getting back to you. It looks like you were looking at some life insurance, and never completed it. Like what happened? What made you want to think, you're 42 years old and need life insurance? Is it a wife? Is it a kids? A mortgage on a home? What's going on? And I try to pique people from like the interest of what like why? Why are we talking? What made you look at life insurance? Like what's the deal? How can I help you? And I started having a lot better luck with them. And that was when I finally started like grabbing some traction. I wrote like 8 grand that week off abandoned cart leads and I wrote a big IUL, and then I literally called the next person in the list, and I wrote another nice policy. It was like 220 a month and like 335 a month or something, and I was like, whoa, like that was back to back on the spreadsheet. Wow, this works, this works. And then I started just kind of dabbling my feet around and tried some ILC leads, decent luck with those, some new vet leads. Still not super hot on those. Honestly, I think bang for your buck, age vet lead's the way to go versus a new vet
Yeah.
lead. But just kind of kept trying, kept dialing. And one thing I've started to notice too, this isn't people think you can come here and work 20 hours a week and make a ton of money. No, that's not the case. You got to stay sharp. It's like sharpening a knife. My knife's got to be sharp all day because I'm cutting with it. I'm cutting with that knife all day and I got to sharpen it. And I have to stay sharp. And I stay sharp by putting the time in. If I'm not putting the time in, my knife gets dull. So when I go to cut something, I'm hacking it. I'm terrible on the intro. The presentation sucks. So I spend the time. You got to work 50, 60 hours a week, 40 minimum, bare minimum to stay sharp. That way, when I get people on the phone, it's bang, bang, bang. I'm not sitting there stumbling, fumbling, not sure how to handle this objection. Makes a difference.
So the other thing that helps is you dialed in the office
Yeah, that's major.
because you were blessed to be able to go to a place where, Hanan was there, James was there, Joseph was there, or some of the other guys were there. And what I tell people is like, you unequivocally learn what work ethic is by watching them. Like it's not written, right? But like you're there and you're like, they're all on the phone. I'm not. Okay. Like I need to probably be on. Like those are the things that happen when you're there. You're like, dude, I came in after them and I'm leaving before. Like those are the mental notes you keep. And so when you wonder why they write the premium they write, you can tell. It's harder when you're on Zoom or you work out of your home office because you don't know. You can come as you go. That's the hard part about what we do, right? So having the office environment allowed you to be able to work, and not only that, get feedback and coaching almost immediately. Like when you would bomb, they would probably say something and be like, "Hey, say this, don't say that, whatever it is," right? Or you get to hear them immediately and go, "Oh wow, that worked for them. Like I can put that into my bag too." The office environment is supposed to help, right? Like when you start looking back at some of the agents on our team that started writing a lot more premium, surprise, surprise, they were plugging into the office the month before, right? Um, so okay, cool. So you start talking about scripts, like you start, I talked to you about it earlier, like what used to be your opening, like how does your opening sound like now? Like what is it like for you when you pick up the phone?
My opening when I first started was very rough. I literally had, a sheet of paper in front of me and I was reading it like line for line, line for line. And going back and listening to those calls, they sounded horrible. They did not sound good. I sounded scripted. I sounded like I was reading off of a sheet of paper. So I practiced the script. I practiced the script, and then I got to a point where I was like, okay, let me turn the sheet of paper upside down and let me call these people because I know what I need to say. I just need to identify myself, confirm a little bit of information with them, and kind of touch base on the why. That's all I really do now. I'll call people, I'll say, ring, ring. Hey, Steven. Yeah, Steven, this is Blake Berger. I'm just getting back to you about a little bit of information you were looking at online. Just need to confirm a couple of things first. What information online? Oh, the information, for your family gets a paycheck when you pass away, kind of life insurance. Oh, okay. Yeah, does that ring a bell? Yeah, cool. I got your date of birth. Okay, cool. Your last name's Yee? Yeah. All right. Awesome, Steven. What's going on? I don't make it too complicated because we're talking to humans here. These are all regular people. They don't want to be grilled. They don't want to be pressed. I try to make it personable, like kick back. I don't want to have this pressure, this weird feeling. I want to be very personable because I'm in person. I can go anywhere and make friends with anyone,
Right.
and I try and do that on the phone. I really try to do that on the phone.
But this is where like I scream and shout about this all I want. And it's like new agents are like, I need a script. I need your script. I'm like, no, you don't. You just need to know the psychology behind why we say what we say. Like you were like, okay, step one is I got to identify myself and verify some information. Yeah, like everybody does that. We don't need a script for that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But like Blake, this is what I've learned. Like I watched a video on it the other day and it's so true. Okay. Like if I were to ask you, I go, Blake, what is two plus two? And you go, four, right? And then I ask James, I go, what's two plus two? And he goes, four. And we asked everybody in the room who is stupider between the two. They would say you because you hesitated. The answer was still correct, but because you hesitated, they think you're stupid. Well, why do we do that on the phone? Hey, Blake, this is Steven. I'm getting back to you about the form you sent back in. Blah, 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 blah. I don't remember filling it out. Uh, okay. Well, yeah, most of our clients don't remember filling it out because it's been so long. Whatever they say, but because they hesitated, because they go, whatever it is, our clients go, this fool doesn't know what he's doing. And it's probably because you You actually do know what you're doing, but you're hesitant. You're not confident. And because they can't see you, they can hear you. They can hear your tone, right? And so here's why I say this. Back then, listening to you dial versus hearing you now, you don't need a script. Granted, I don't think you ever did because the difference is they hear your tone and how confident you are. Right? We talked about this on the previous call. We said, 55% of communication is, you know, body language, nonverbal, but the other 38 is, our tone, and then 7% is words, right? But so many people are so stuck on the words they have to say. Dude, the clients don't care about the words you say. They want to hear your tone and know that you're confident in what you're saying. I'm willing to bet money. Like, I would want to try this for fun. Maybe I do. Maybe I buy a batch of leads for Hanan and just call people and say the wrong thing on purpose. But because he's so damn confident in what he's saying, he'll still find a way to sell the insurance. Like, I'm willing to bet money on that because that's the thing that people need to understand is, Blake, they don't, like, we have some people that would say stuff that is damn near borderline illegal because they would. They would say stuff like, Blake, hey, Blake, this is Steven with the California Department of Insurance getting back to you about blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, if you think people buy insurance from you because of 3 words you say, I think you're fooling yourself because they
For
don't.
sure. Yeah, for
They buy
sure.
insurance because you're confident in what you do. That's it. You know what I mean? And so, like, being able to hear you now compared to you were 3 months ago, wow, such a vet. You know what I mean? But like, you're so much more comfortable because of the reps you've done. That's the difference,
I
right? So,
literally I went through I mean to interrupt you, but I went through it was about a month ago. Leads I had bought, some of my first batches, like my second, third, fourth batch of leads, and I looked at all my old appointments. I was like, I don't really feel like dialing, like just sifting through the weeds today, you know? I don't want to sift. So I just started calling old appointments. Called one, they didn't answer. Called the second one. Hey, Gene. Yeah, it's just Blake. Just getting back to you about the form you filled out for your vet life insurance options. Does that ring a bell? Oh, yeah, it doesn't. All right. Date of birth is this? Yeah. Cool. Last name's Edwards. Awesome. What's going on, Gene? Were you looking to cover a burial or a cremation? Boom. Wrote a policy right off the bat.
and
And
how
those
many
were,
times did you call that guy?
it was like 34 times.
And you spoke to him how many times prior?
Five.
Yeah. But all of a sudden, he bought insurance on the 6th time
Yeah. Because I sounded good. I sounded
because you
like I knew
sounded
what I was
great.
talking about. I wasn't sitting there going, getting back to you about the form you filled out about the life insurance.
Right.
I don't remember. Well, yeah, I don't remember what I ate for breakfast this morning. It sounds bad. It
Right.
sounds rough. It sounds like I'm some dude who's just reading off a sheet of paper and I have no clue what I'm talking about. But to be able to like chop it up and laugh with these people, like, oh, you don't remember filling it out? Yeah, I don't even remember what I ate for breakfast, dude. But I got your date of birth, 8/10/1947. Is that right? Cool. Last name's Edwards. Awesome. Okay. Now what's going on, Gene?
But dude, like, you literally said the same words as you did like 30 seconds ago. The difference is you removed the ums and uhs and you were more confident. Like, that's really the answer. If you're a brand new agent, you can take anything away from this call. That's literally the only thing that changed. It's not the words he said, it's how he said it. Right. Like,
Makes a huge
it
difference.
does, Blake. And here's the crazy part. Like, when you were brand new and those first 2 weeks you sucked, which everybody does, which is why I'm saying because a lot of people go, oh my gosh, this is not for me. Bro, we tell new agents that for a reason because it's not for everybody. Like, the first 2 weeks is like where we go, is this guy going to make it or is he going to quit? Really is what it is. That's the test, right? But here's the funny part. During the first 2 weeks, when you were sucking, right? You're literally going, I might never get good at this. Because that's what
I
everybody thinks.
I was wondering how these guys did it. I was like,
Right.
how is he a year into this writing 30 grand a month? There's no way. Like, what's the
Correct.
lead? It's the leads. Oh,
Yeah,
it's the
he's got better
script.
leads than you.
It's the leads. It's no, it's the script. Hey, Joseph, can I get your script? Can I get your script, buddy? It's your script. No, it's not his script. He just sounds baller on the phone.
Right.
He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. He ain't scared. He's not sitting here going, oh, woo, woo, woo. He's spitting. He is spitting on these people. And they're like, oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did want to cover a burial. Yep. It's not like, oh, why
But
are
you
you
look at
calling me?
yourself now, Blake. You're 3 months in, which like is why I'm saying it's laughable because in most in most corporate jobs, like you barely just got through probation.
You literally got out of your 90-day
You know what I
probation
mean? Like
period.
your benefits are finally active. But I say that because where can you go? Like literally, where can you go in any industry where like your first month you're really, really horrible and then 90 days later you're doing 35, 40 grand a month? Because
Nowhere.
nobody see, because the thing that nobody accounts for, Blake, is getting better. Nobody does. By the way, 3 months from now, you'll be better than you are right now. Because you
That's
will be.
it's God, that's crazy to I don't even know where I'm gonna be in 3 months. That's gonna be I don't know. That's gnarly.
But you get where I'm going? Like, you're not gonna be worse.
No, I can't get any worse than I was.
Right. Like, but that's the stuff that brand new agents don't get. They think that they're in this hellhole in purgatory forever. We're like, no, dude. As long as you continuously dial, learn your craft, hop on the trainings, ask your mentors for help, you will get better. That's the way it works. Yeah, Hanan. Hanan said, welcome to hell. But you got to get yourself out of it. You know what I mean? And the other part, Blake, and this is one thing I will credit you, is you were never ever scared to ask for help.
No, I would ask. I knew when I was like, dude, I'm botching. I'm botching bad. Like, what do I do? What do I do? Can you listen to this call? What did I do?
Dude, you sent me a call last week.
Yeah,
By
a
the
no
way,
sale.
after he's writing 35, 40 grand a month, he sent me a call. He goes, what do you think? I looked at the call and I was like, it's 16 minutes. I think it sucks. And then once we started going through it, I had all these things. And he was like, damn, those are things I can get better at. I'm like, I know. So, like, you not being as good as you can be, you're still writing 35, 40 grand because the activity and the confidence. But imagine once you start getting better at those other things, like 45, 50 will be in a blink of an eye. You know what I mean? And that's the other thing, Blake. Like, we're not changing your presentation, we're fine tuning it. We're just going, hey, this line right here, ask it this way. Or one of the things was I said, take your 5 bullet points and then tell them after options. Never
Yeah, I
said
like that.
change how you said it. I just said switch the lineup. That's it.
Switch the timing on them.
Yeah. And you're
They
like,
think
oh,
they think it's time to choose an option, and I'm like, let's build some value with these options. What do you think?
right.
Because they think, oh gosh, I got to
He's going to
pick one right
close
now.
me.
Oh
He's going to
gosh,
close me now. Yep. But
no.
but those are the little things, Blake, that we get better on, right? But as a brand new agent, obviously brand new agents, we're going to be like, hey, the way you said this, blah, 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 blah. And here's the other thing. You were never a yeah, but guy. And I appreciated that. You know what a yeah, but guy is, Blake?
Well, it's another object. Oh well, yeah, but I'm really busy. Oh, but I
No, like
gotta
a yeah, but guy is like if you were like, hey, Steve, I didn't close this appointment. Can you listen to me? And then I will listen to you. And I'd be like, hey, you probably didn't say this. You were like, yeah, I did. But blah, 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 blah. You were like, you would always just take the feedback and be like, you know what? He probably knows more than I do. Yeah, I should change that.
take it and run with it.
Right. Because I'm not here to harm you. Like, we want you to sell more insurance. Right. So, like, you took the feedback. Like, when I was refing basketball games way back when, like, we always had guys that were yeah, but guys. Like, we had a guy that would literally sit in the bleachers and record us. And he'd be like, dude, you're not standing at the 28-foot line. He's like, yeah, I did. Yeah, I was. We're like, dude, no, you weren't. Yeah, I was. We'd be like, all right, let's pull up the tape. And now we show the tape. We're like, see, you're at half court. Because they wouldn't be receptive to coaching, which is why a lot of them got stuck. Right. But like, because you had no ego in this, you were like, Hanan, even though he's younger than me, sells more than me. So was James. You're like, I'm in, bro. No ego. I'm here to learn. Right. And that's the other thing, Blake, is you are willing to get embarrassed. And by the way,
Yeah.
you can't make a lot of money in this industry without being willing to get embarrassed. That's just the way it works. You go around telling people that you're going to go make 50, 60, 70,000 hour a month and they start looking at you like you're crazy. But guess what? You got to get embarrassed. You got to have to take the objections. You got to be able to hear the no's. You got to get hung up on. It's going to make you feel funny. But when the results actually stock up and pile up, you're like, I did it, right? Like you were just telling me a story about your mom, how she's
Oh
been like the
gosh.
ultimate hater.
Biggest hater, dude. Nothing but hate. Nothing but hate. She was hating yesterday. She was hating yesterday. I went over to my neighbor's house and she's trying to tell my fiance, "You guys need to get a starter house. It's unrealistic to think you're gonna go buy a nice house these days." What makes you say that's unrealistic? Because you guys didn't do that? That's cool. That was your situation. Oh, you're not going to be able to afford a $5,000 a month mortgage. What? I'm not? That's crazy. Even when I first got started, she said, "Oh, well, yeah, 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 it sounds too good to be true. I hope you don't get hurt. I hope you don't lose a bunch of money. Thanks. Appreciate it. You go work your 9 to 5, with all due respect. Um, I know you're a nurse. That's awesome. Congrats. You're going to be a nurse until you retire. It's cool. I mean, if that's what you want to do, awesome. Do it. You're setting the world on fire. You work 36 hours a week. You work 3 days. You make some decent money. It pays the bills. That's cool. More power to you. But yeah, she shot this thing down so hard. And even when I first got started, she said, "Oh well, well that money's not yours. Well, it'll charge back. Oh, it'll what if they cancel their policy? Oh, well, you spend too much money on leads. You're spending so much money on leads, so you're not making any money." It's like, yeah, ha 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 ha. So I showed her the announcement for our call. New producer in 3 months, wrote 40 grand. Yeah, she changed her fiddle last night. That was a different tune. That was a
Dude, it's
different tune.
and by the
Real
way,
quick.
Blake, this is not me picking on your mom because I don't know your mom, but like let me be very clear. Everyone goes through that. Everyone
Yeah.
goes through that. When I got my insurance license, my mom was like, "You're stupid. You're so stupid." And I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "You should have got a real estate license. Asian people don't buy life insurance. Wrong market, bro." And I'm like, "Got it." Luckily, we have leads. And what's crazy, Blake, was when my mom was on her deathbed when she was passing away from cancer, she said, "I'm so glad you didn't listen to me because I wouldn't imagine you be able to be here if you weren't in insurance."
Yeah.
Because here's
That's
the craziest
facts.
part. If you're new, I want you to write this down. The people that love you the most, their natural way of loving you is a defense mechanism by not you want them wanting you to get hurt. So they say stuff like, don't go all in because what if it doesn't work? Don't spend all your money on leads.
That was my
Cause
mom.
dude, Blake, I love you, but that's everyone on this call, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. She was
Everyone goes through it. And I'm
hating.
speaking to the new agent that's going through it right now because their loved one, their family member, their parent, their spouse, their unsupportive, partner, whatever it may be, is telling them the same thing. And they're going, I'm the only one that's going through this. No, everybody does. This is a part of it. You have to go through it. And then the craziest part is when you do it, Blake, when you do it, they're going to go, I knew you could always do it.
Oh
And
yeah.
you're going to sit there
Yeah.
with a big ass smile going, no, you did not.
Yeah, she said,
But that's what
"Oh,
happens.
I knew an office job was gonna be the thing. I always told you needed to work in an office. You're so smart. Da 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 da. You didn't need to work on that fishing boat. That was such a waste of time." It's like, "Mom, you were literally hating on this up and down." I'd come home, she's like, "Oh, did you sell anything today?" "No." "Did you sell anything today?" "No." "Did you sell anything today?" "No." "I booked a few appointments today." "Oh, well, that's good, honey." "Did you sell anything today?" "No." "I sold my first policy today." "Oh, yay. Ha 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 ha. Ha. That's great. You probably spent all that money on leads." And I did. I did. And then, a month or two later now, it's like, "Oh, how'd you do today?" I was like, "Well, it was a good day. Yeah, it was a good day. I wrote 5 policies." She's like, "Oh, wow, that's good." Or she'd come home from work and she's like, "Oh, how was your day, honey?" I was like, "Oh, it was cool. Hung out, worked from 10 to 2 at the house, made a couple grand. It's a decent Saturday." Made a couple grand on a Saturday, Yeah, like Daniel says, no biggie. And now she, I've been kind of poking a little fun at her. And it's, oh, well, yeah, how'd you do this past week? It was decent. I deposited 10. I deposit 10,000
Yeah.
this week. She makes that in about a month. So it's kind of funny, 3 months later from her telling me this was kind of a waste of time to, yeah, I'm
Your number one fan.
depositing anywhere from I'm depositing about 6 to 10 grand a week, not a month, a week.
But here's the craziest part, Blake. She's gonna go tell all her friends because that's what happens. That's just what Blake, because this happens to, like, I don't know who iPhone is because it says iPhone, but they're like, I'm literally going through that right now. I'm like, dude, because everybody does. Like, I'm not doing this to poke fun at your mom because my mom, my in-laws, like everybody, bro, everybody goes through this. Like, it's mandatory if you want to make it, you're gonna have to go through this. Your loved ones are going to tell you that you made the wrong decision. Why did you do it? They're going to be like, why do you need to buy leads? Because no other job makes you do that. Like they're going to poke at everything we do until you actually do it. That's how it works. And the ones that are unfortunate enough that they can't get through that mentally because the other party is stronger than them, they fail out. And they're like, you know what? You're right. Yeah, that insurance thing didn't work. Yep, it was a scam all the way. Yeah, because that's what happens. You know what I mean? Like, I know this is a sales call. And we're supposed to talk about sales, but dude, like, if you can't understand that this is the stuff that you got to go through behind the scenes before you can even get to the sale, you ain't gonna make it. You know what I mean? So,
It's
um,
discouraging.
it is because, like, you're going to literally, because tell me if I'm lying now, Blake. Your first 2 weeks, your mom's nagging on you, right? As you're driving to the office, tell me if I'm wrong. You're going, what if she's right? You ever ask
Mm-mm.
yourself that? Lucky you,
No,
I did all the time.
I
I
was
would
gonna
literally
make this
drive to
thing
run my
work.
appointments and be like, man, what if she was right? And I was in the wrong industry. What if I should have gotten a real estate? Because self doubt kicks in usually in the beginning.
I'm gonna prove him wrong. That was my thing. Her
I,
saying, "Oh, you need a starter house," that just makes me want to buy an even nicer house for our first house. Get a real nice house.
you're like million
Oh,
dollar
well,
mortgage
you're
right off
just
the bat. Don't
yeah,
do
you're
that.
you're just you're just thinking because we have such a nice house that you need to get a nice house too. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get a nicer one. Yeah.
Blake, I love it. All right, so let's go into actually some sales training. So I always tell people that in the beginning of the phone call, regardless if it's aged or new, you get the same objections, right? So as a brand new agent, they're listening to these calls. Some people want to buy the newer lead because they think age leads are bad. I love age leads. I feel like they're the most profitable lead. Like you said, you spent $300 and wrote like 13 grand in one day. What are some of the ways you overcome objections when they tell you they don't remember filling it out? They already got it taken care of. They're no longer interested. Like, what do you say at that point?
A lot of times it's just agree and acknowledge, like, okay, cool, you already got it handled. When did you get that taken care of? That's awesome. I'm glad you found coverage. Just agree with them. You can't get mad if I agree with you.
Right?
I acknowledged the fact that you got coverage. I agreed with you. Yeah, you got coverage. Rad. That's great. Who'd you get it through? Then you just ask a question. Ball's back in my court. You got to answer or you can hang up the phone. That's the two things we can do. You're either going to answer my question or you're going to hang up the phone. Or you're going to try and tell me another stupid objection. Well, what's that? That's none of your business. Well, Mary, I don't even have to help you. How about that?
I'm laughing because if you know Blake, that's actually what he says on the phone.
I'm not nice to people on the phone. I am not nice to people. I was nice the first few weeks I started, and I got my niceness just dwindled and dwindled and dwindled. Some people tell me something stupid, and oh, is it free? Yeah, what's free? And a lot of times I use silence. You just tell them something and shut up. Okay,
Blake,
what are you gonna say?
how long did it take for you to get over the niceness thing?
A month. I was over
Unfortunately.
I was over it after a month.
Yeah.
I was solidly over it. Um, I don't remember filling the form out. Yeah, perfect. You probably don't. Most people don't. I got your date of birth, 10/4/47. Is that right? Cool. Last name's Randall. Awesome. All right, Miss Randall, what's going on? Were you looking to cover a burial or a cremation? It's not that deep.
The reason why I say this because everybody thinks that you got to be nice.
No, you do
Like
not be
this is the
nice.
most untraditional thing you'll ever do. For those of you that are new, by the way, because you think, oh, I'm in sales, I got to be nice because they got to buy from me. No, it's actually like completely backwards. The more direct you are, the more they'll buy from you, which is really weird. But you have to, like Daniel said, you got to challenge your clients, right? And it's like, it's really interesting because the new agents will hop on our Zoom and be like, those guys are mean. I'm like, no, 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 they're not mean because they never offended the client. They were very direct.
It's fighting for my client.
Correct.
I'm just fighting for my client. I'll tell people too, I don't work for any one insurance company. I work for you, Stephen. I want to find you the best policy for your health conditions and your situation and your family. And I'll tell them that, and they kind of realize, like, dang, this dude honestly like wants to take care of me and make sure my family's solid when the time comes. I'll tell people like I work for you. I work for my clients. I don't work for a carrier. Like I care about you.
Right.
I don't care about writing business for America or Ethos or Moo. I want to see who gets you approved, who gets you the best rate, who gets you the best coverage. And I'll tell people that. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm not just some guy at USAA trying to sell you USAA. I'm trying to find you the best coverage for you. And that normally humbles them a little bit. It kind of changes the tone of the conversation. They're like, okay, this dude like genuinely just trying to help a brother out here.
But like, here's what I want to ask. Once you started getting more direct and you show that you care for your clients, how much, like now compared to when you were brand new, do you receive as many objections now as you did when you were brand new?
No,
Isn't
I
that
used
funny?
I used to do like a big build up to the social too because I was afraid to ask because I was like,
Correct.
dude, like they're probably not going to give it to me, and I'd tell them about all this. Oh, you know the your MIB, they're gonna your family's death certificate. They need to verify you are who you are. I would talk about the social for like 3 minutes instead of just asking. Okay, mailing. I always start with mailing address. I'm like, hey, if we get you approved, where are we going to send the policy to? It's not a big deal. If you get approved, where's it going? Where do you want it sent? And then, do you have a valid driver's license? Cool. What state? Okay. Then go ahead with your social. Then if they give me some push, okay, I'll give them some
Right.
shove. I'll give them some shove. Hey, you ever held a death certificate? You ever like anyone in your family died recently? You remember what was on it? Yeah, it had their social on it, huh? Yeah, cool thing. Because they're gonna match that death certificate to the life insurance policy. That's how your family's gonna get a paycheck. And then if they want to give me some more shove on that, I'll tell them, you know how to use Google? Cool. So I'm going to have you look on your phone right now. Do I need to provide my social security number to get a life insurance policy? The answer is yes.
That's
The
actually
answer
really
is
smart.
yes. You need to give your social. It's just the fact of the matter is you have
Right.
to give it out. And then, if they really want to, I'll sometimes, I started doing the little HIPAA authorization thing. That's kind of a good one. Hey, the 1996 HIPAA Act, your information's protected, blah, 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 blah. But do you want the coverage or not? Like, I, I've kind of gotten tired of like fighting with people about it because I'll just call the next one. If you don't want the coverage, cool. If you think it's safer, or I'll have can you mail stuff out to me? I'm like,
Yeah.
sir or ma'am, do you think it is safer to put all of your personal info? Have you ever had mail get stolen? That's what I ask them. When they say, can you mail stuff out to me? I'll say, have you ever had your mail stolen? Answer is normally yes. Have you ever had a package get stolen or lost in the mail? It's probably yeah. Okay, cool. So do you want to put all your personal information in the mail and risk it gets stolen or lost? Or do you want to speak to me on a secure and recorded line and get this done in the next 20 minutes? Oh, and do
But,
you do you
but
want day
Blake,
one
it's
coverage or do you want a 2-year wait?
but Blake, the confidence in what you're saying is the reason why they're doing it. That's it.
Oh, well, I make their question sound stupid. It's like, did you really just like ask me that?
Right.
Did you really just tell me no? Like, are you stupid?
But
You just
Blake,
told me
here's
no.
here's what I'm saying. As a brand new agents get objections all the time. 90% of them is because they brought it amongst themselves.
I used to do it to myself all the time.
By the way, most brand new agents do. Like once you start listening to phone calls, you're like, oh, he's going to get this. Just wait. 30 seconds later, client says, and we're like, told you. Because it's like you brought it on yourself, right? A vet agent's not going to do that, which is why like a vet agent can call it age leads and get the same result as new leads because of confidence and confidence alone. That's it. Like you're
Yeah,
not going to hear a lot of our top guys get social banking objections like a brand new first, second week agent would for the simple fact of how they ask it, how they said it, right? They're going to, like you said, agree, acknowledge, ask a question, or they're going to just address it earlier so that it'll never be an objection later on. Like those are little things. But as a brand new agent, you don't get to that point if you don't stay. That's the thing.
you
There's a
got to
reason why in
thug
our
it out.
training we say be here a year from now.
Oh gosh, I can't even imagine a year from now. I'm only 3 months in, 4 months in.
Yeah.
Like, what's it, a year?
So, what's it look like now, man? We were talking about this.
Now's the next step. Now is making the next steps. Now is uh, it's kind of time to get a dialer. Um,
Buying your
I,
time back.
yeah, it's time to start buying some time back. I would like to hire a staff. We're working on that, kind of getting someone to call carriers, push paperwork. Uh, I started a Facebook ad campaign, start self-genning some leads. My next thing, I want to buy a couple of more states. I've been noticing a lot of the guys run in Hawaii, and I think that would be a nice opportunity for me because put the kid to sleep at 10 o'clock, 10:30, and then I can rip from 10 to 12,
Right.
rip a couple more hours. But yeah, my next steps is really doubling down on what I did in the last 3 months because what I did in the last 3 months got me to where I'm at now.
Right.
And this business is like a double down. You got to double down and you got to bet on yourself. It's betting on yourself. Well, I put this much into it, I got this much out. Why don't I put more in? If I put more in, what can I get out? My other thing, I finally started getting a couple of people licensed. Got a couple of guys going. They're kind of slow to roll, They're what if, oh, money for leads, this, that, and the other. But when I keep producing at this same clip, it adds some heat to the fire because you're really seeing, wow, he just did 35, 40 grand. He just did 40 grand. Oh, wow, he wrote 50 this month. He wrote 60. Why don't I do this? Like, I'm crying about money. Why am I not doing what Blake did? Because we were all laughing at him 3.5 months ago.
True
I
story.
remember my buddy Cameron, I went and hung out with him like it's like my second or third week, fourth week in the business. And I go to hang out with him, and my friend Arthur's there, another guy from the office. And I didn't know Arthur knew Cameron, but Cameron was hating on me doing this. Like, oh, dude, good luck. Like, that, it's a joke. It's a joke. And lo and behold, Cameron was the first person I got licensed because now he sees me winning. We go out to eat. Put your money away. I'm buying. I'm buying. But my next steps, my next few months is really doubling down on what I've been doing, increasing lead spend. The Facebook thing's kind of nice because it's like a non-negotiable. It automates it. Charges my card $200 like every couple of days. Boom, $200, $200, $200. And the other thing to that, when you automate your lead spend, like when it's going to charge, regardless of what you're doing, you're gonna go work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go work. I'm like, dude, these leads are pouring in. I don't really care if it's Sunday. I don't care if I'm sick. I don't care if we want to go do this or that. I gotta call these people. I'm spending this money to get these leads in. I gotta call these people, see if I can help them out, and write some business. Because if your leads aren't automated, well, I just won't buy leads and I'll go kind of screw around. I went fishing this past week. It was my worst week in a long time.
Oh yeah. Remember we talked about
I
going to Disneyland? For you, it's going fishing.
going fishing. I came back in the office. I made like 180 dials. I had 9 presos, no sales. I was like, dude, what happened to me today? And it's because I took like 4 days off.
Right.
I had to go get my skin taken care of. I went fishing. Got someone in our family's really sick. They're going through cancer. And I've been, trying to be there for the family and stuff, but at the same time, like Arthur Forrest's call, I don't know if Arthur's on here, but
Yep.
no excuse, just produce. Like that call really changed my mindset too. Like I don't care. I just need to go right. I don't care what it is. I just got to go right. I keep writing because I owe it to my family. At the end of the day, I owe it to my family.
Blake, it's not that nobody says you can't take time off. It's just it's how you take time off. You know what I mean?
I can't take time off. I'm
No,
telling
no, no.
myself I can't
It's
take time
okay
off.
for you to go to the lake for a day or two, but to go for like 5 days straight is a different beast. Because truthfully, here's what happens. This is why it's dangerous, and this is what people don't understand: is you make all this money, but what happens is you don't know what's going to happen with your business because clients might call and cancel. If you spend all your
Came
money,
back
you
to
have no
three
money for leads.
chargebacks.
You see where I'm going. This is where we're saying, like, we're like, dude, nobody's saying don't take time off. Just don't go to Disneyland for 4 or 5 days because that's what every new agent does. And you and I have talked about this before, but until you learn the lesson, you got to learn the lesson, right? And so I'm not poking fun at you because I know you'll get out of the hole, but like my whole thing is like, don't dig your own grave, right? But talking about it when we started this call, you said you had $1,000 to your name when you started, right? It was cool because you texted me like you're like, oh my gosh, bro, like I can't believe it. Like nobody believes it. Like look at now, like I have this much in there. And I'm like, dude, it's only a start, you know? Like that's why I'm like in 90 days, you did that, bro. By the way, you did that. Not me, not James, not Hanan, not your buddies. You
I
did
had
that.
some wingmen. I had some wingmen, but
Absolutely.
I ultimately had to come in here and do it.
But you did
At
it.
the end of the day, yeah, I had to come in here and crank the dials out because the commission statement, it's my agent code. It's not theirs, it's not yours.
Right.
It's mine and the business that I wrote.
Right.
So that was it's been such a blessing to be able to get into this. For the people that are struggling getting started, stick to it. You're going to get blessed. You're going to get blessed with what you put into it. Because at the end of the day, I don't have to come here today. I don't have to be on a call. I don't have to do anything. It's a self motivated hustle. And that is the biggest perk to this business. And it's also the toughest thing because there's a lot of people that are a 9 to 5. They need to have a boss yell at them, hey, you're late. You're going to get fired if you're late again.
But that's the beauty of it, Blake. You don't also have to get paid today either.
Mm-mm, I
So,
don't. I'm chilling. I got a few bucks saved.
you know what I mean?
I
But
got a few bucks saved.
I love it, man. Blake, I appreciate you. Excited to be able to see where you are in the next 30, 60, 90 days because it only can get better from here. You know what I mean? And so,
Hall of Fame next year.
absolutely.
Hall of Fame next year. Mark my
So,
words. We're
Blake,
coming for it.
I'm excited for you, bro. And by the way, Blake hops on Zoom and dials and unmutes. I would highly suggest you do the same. So, Blake, I appreciate you. Thank you for hopping on. And for all the brand new agents out there, just know that you're not the only one going through it. Everybody goes through it. And it's just a matter of you telling your story when you get out of it. So, Blake, appreciate you. See you at the top as always. And be blessed, guys. Take it easy.